Everyone knows about Mansa Musa, the guy richer than Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and that one dude who flexes on TikTok with a rented Lamborghini. But hidden in Musa's family tree is a story about his brother, a man who basically said, "You know what? I'm king, but screw politics. Let's yeet across the Atlantic and see what's over there." This man was Abu Bakr II, the emperor of Mali before Musa, and his story? Equal parts legend, mystery, and wild what if history. Buckle in because today we're diving into the tale of the king who may have reached the Americas long before Columbus got lost. Mali, around the 1300s, was no joke. It was one of the wealthiest empires on earth, running the trans-Saharan gold trade and basically balling on Europe, which was still fumbling around after the Black Death. Abu Bakr inherited all this. Dude was sitting on literal mountains of gold, libraries of knowledge, and armies ready to flex. But instead of doubling down on empire building, he got obsessed with the sea. According to chronicles, Abu Bakr asked a simple, dangerous question: what lies beyond the Atlantic Ocean? And while most kings would just shrug and go to polish their crowns, Abu Bakr decided to find out. He commissioned an expedition, hundreds of ships packed with food, water, and enough crew to make this look like a medieval version of a cruise line. The story goes that only one ship came back, saying, "Yeah, but the ocean is endless," and everyone else kinda vanished, just disappeared. Most kings would take that as a sign to chill, but not Abu Bakr. He went, so everyone decided to just vanish? Well, if you want something done right, you better do it yourself. So he went and did it himself. So in 1311, Abu Bakr handed over the throne to his brother Musa, Mr. Flex on the World, and personally led a second, even bigger fleet. Some accounts say that 2,000 ships, or while others suggest a few hundred. Either way, it was massive. And then, poof, they disappeared from history. No medieval TikToks, no postcards, no "hey, we made it to Cancun" letters, just silence. But here's where it gets spicy. Some modern historians think it's possible that Abu Bakr and his fleet actually reached the Americas. There are oral traditions among some indigenous groups of dark-skinned sailors arriving from across the sea, and archaeological whispers like West African metal and botanical links fuel the theory. Is it conclusive proof? Nope, but it makes Columbus look even more like the dude who showed up late to a party that had already started. Quick pause before we get lost at sea. If you're enjoying this dive into history's greatest disappearing act, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Otherwise, Abu Bakr's ghost might just haunt you. Now, here's the tricky part. Most of what we know about Abu Bakr comes from the later chronicles, like Al-Umari's writings, which say Musa himself admitted his brother went off sailing and never came back. European history, of course, barely mentions him, because the narrative has always centered on Columbus. But think about it. Columbus sailed in 1492. Abu Bakr set out nearly 200 years earlier. If the voyage succeeded, it means the story of first contact is way more complicated than the textbooks like to admit. If it failed, then we're left with a tragic but badass tale of a king who gave up power to chase a dream. Either way, Abu Bakr II was not your average ruler. He's the guy who literally said, you know what? Having an empire is cool, but I'd rather gamble my life on the ocean. So let's play the ultimate what if game. Imagine if Abu Bakr's fleet actually reached the Americas. What would have happened? Trade routes? Gold for corn? Timbuktu's scholars vibing with Mayan astronomers? It's the kind of alternate history that makes your brain spin, and it flips the Eurocentric narrative on its head. Maybe the real story of discovery isn't about Columbus at all, but about a forgotten king who chose curiosity over comfort. So, next time someone drops the name Columbus, you can say, yeah, but have you heard about Abu Bakr II, the king who traded his throne for an ocean? So, what do you think happened to Abu Bakr II? Did his fleet get swallowed by the Atlantic, leaving nothing but a mystery? Or did they make it arriving on American shores 2 centuries before Columbus, rewriting everything we thought we knew about history? Drop your theory down in the comments. Do you buy the idea that millions could have made it across? Or do you think this was just one king's overly ambitious gap year gone horribly wrong? And hey, while you're down there typing, tell me, if you were the ruler of one of the richest empires in the world, would you have risked it all for the unknown? Or would you have stayed home, counting gold like some Scrooge McDuck? I'll be reading through your takes, and I love seeing the wild alternate history theories you all come up with. Who knows, your comment might even spark a future episode. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and share it with that one friend who still thinks Columbus was the first to discover anything. Spoiler alert, he just discovered how to get lost. This has been Ordinary Echoes, where forgotten voices get their echo back. Thanks for sailing with me today. Until the next time, keep questioning, keep imagining, and always remember to keep history alive. Thank you, and see you on the next video.